All right, I don't know if this is working right now. My stream's being really messed up here, and it doesn't look like I have some. My stream health is pretty trash, dude. I'm getting some hard lag. Can you guys hear me? Is it choppy? Is it laggy? We good? I don't know how this is sounding right now. Let's go. I'm just waiting for the chat to say something. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, dude, I think my YouTube's being really weird. Like I said, my stream health is poor. The hell's going on here? You see if I'm updating something. I don't think I should have anything going on in the background here. Let's see. Let me close a couple things real quick. See if that improves the stream here. Maybe I won't be laggy. Get off Discord quick. Jump off Steam in case I'm updating a game. Alrighty, how's everybody doing today? Let's go. Got a lot of stuff to go over today. Good. Glad I don't sound like garbage this time. So we got a lot of stuff to go over here today. I want to show you guys some new fraud that's coming into the market and just how bad the economy is coming on right now. This is unbelievable what's happening. So get everybody prepared. A lot of people that I was talking to close, I figured this week for AMC we'd see a drop in the price. Anytime you see that, you're starting to talk with lenders. One of the things that I've been telling everybody I expect here in the next week or two is another one of those debt to equity exchanges. I believe we're going to pay down a little more of that upcoming debt here. We're going to extend it out, and then we'll finally get past that, move on. Evan, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry, guys. It's been a very, very busy week with the little man. That little man, he apparently loves staying in the hospital. Every other week, we got something going on with that little guy. So, Evan, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. But I do expect, anytime you have news like this to come out, they're going to use it as an excuse to drop it. But, I told a couple people to maybe play the downside a little bit this week. Just because, like I said, it's the same shit repeating cycle. And this is something that I do want people to look at, understand, and, obviously look for repeating patterns. Just like with earnings, you know what they're going to do. So, kind of play those type of things. So, but anyways, let's get back to this. So, as we're talking now, AMC starts talks with lenders to cut debt, extend maturities. Apparently, we're talking pretty confident right now. One of the things I was saying the rest of this year is the movies are going to start recovering. They're going to start recovering hard. And never, ever sleep on children's movies, you guys. This Inside Out movie is destroying it. Children's movies are the best things for theaters because not only are they going to come there, they're going to bring their mom, their friends, whatever. They always get candy. They always get the merchandise. So these are always your biggest earners for theater companies. The rest of the year, the movie slate for 2025 just keeps getting better and better and better. So again, the rest of this year, I expect nothing but great things for AMC. Next quarter here, you got Despicable Me 4. The last two of those for children's movies, they did over $1 billion worldwide. So those, like I said, don't sleep on that Despicable Me 4 movie coming out here. On top of that, you got the best movie of the year, and I cannot wait. Wolverine, Deadpool. I cannot wait to see that movie. You got Twister coming out. Next quarter should be a very, very, very good quarter. Now, looking at this quarter today, numbers are looking way better, guys. Way, way, way better than they were here. Inside Out 2 is just completely dominating. We got $356 million here domestically. Now, this number right here, we're at 1.72 million. Now, if you click on the daily, come down here and see that they have not added Monday's numbers in yet. Now, if you guys look at last Monday, we did 28 million. So I'm not, today I'm probably expecting about 20 million, 21, 22. I mean, it'd be pretty sick if we could repeat that number again. But Inside Out 2 would have to, again, kill it for a third straight week on a Monday. So that should put us at about 1.73. So let's go back to quarterly. That should put us about 1.73. A little over that, 732-ish for Monday. So by the way, we want to get over 1.9. If we can hit 2 billion, that would be a big deal. We want to make a 2 billion box office. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, but it could happen. You got Quiet Place coming out, Horizon coming out. You still have Inside Out 2. So Bad Boys is still in theater. So the movie slate it's there. It's definitely there to have a insanely good weekend. We just need to keep having a great week. Now, one of the things I saw, again, don't sleep on Despicable Me 4 next quarter. It's going to kill it. And again, they're going to sit there and sell all of this merchandise. The kids go crazy for it. It's going to be a good quarter next quarter. I expect profitability next quarter since we didn't get it. I thought we'd get it this quarter. But it just started off too slow. One of the things I thought that was also pretty funny was AMC. They're talking about, watch out, AMC. You got Netflix now coming into popcorn. They sit there and keep talking shit about it. Now they want to come up with a movie experience type amusement park thing. And it's like, what are they trying to be, Disney, dude? Ain't nobody going to a Netflix themed fucking park. And then they're coming up trying to come into popcorn. Shit's hilarious, though. But one of the things I did want to talk about today is tons of people have been messaging me. Tons of people have been messaging me about this case and the fraud and how the SEC is now protecting the shorts. It's coming after us. Do I think that this is right? What I feel about this. I'm going to be honest with people right now. So I've read this. I've read the filing. I've read everything. I told you guys, so this is coming from somebody who's just now read about this. I have no perspective on it before this. Just reading it and coming in for the first time. All right, so if I get this correct, this is what it sounds like from the reading the filing. So, if I'm wrong, go ahead and explain it to me or where I'm wrong here. Like I said, I don't have this stock. I have not been following it. But the fact that they talk about, triggering the short squeeze, charging this company, this dividend, this offering, all that. So this kind of reminds me of like the GNS type situation where I told everybody don't go into that crap. They have covenants. They're going to issue this. They have debt to pay off. They have no way to pay it. So what they'll do is offer right away. And it seems like this is kind of, a lot of people are saying it's a scam. Well, let's read what happened here. So according to the filing and everything, they ended up putting out to some investors and told people on social media that they were issuing a new dividend. This new dividend would force short sellers to cover their position, causing a short squeeze. Tons of people jumped into the stock. A couple days later, they did an offering, diluted it down, and made $137 million. And a lot of people that got into this stock from Torchlight said that, this shouldn't have been tradable and all this. And one of the things, and the reason I want to talk about this is one of the things that this talked about was how this was illegal itself. The dividend itself was illegal. One of the things you can't do is say we're going to create something, a dividend, to solely go after short sellers. Of course they protect people like that. Of course they do. There's always rules in place for people like that. But to me, like I said, I don't have any say in the stock or any of this stuff. To me, it sounds like they knew things like this. Obviously, these guys know the rules of the market. They're not stupid. And it's like, did this dividend work? I don't know, because everybody sits... It's so hard for me to go into this because when I read this filing and everything, it sounds to me, like I said, that you can't create a dividend in the sole purpose. So that alone was an illegal thing. On top of it, it sounds like they didn't distribute things correctly, their assets, to give a fake value to the dividend that they were supposed to give to their preferred stockholders. So they didn't do that as well. And then they instantly diluted off the stock raise. So what does this look like to me? This looks to me like GNS and all those other companies that did that. I told people to stay away from those, and I know people don't want to hear this. And yes, this is fucked up. And of course, there are rules that protect them, and that's how the stupid, this all goes, of course. Well, should the CEO have done this? No, of course. You cannot create a dividend, and it sounds like he said, according to this, we have 2 days to get the short sellers, and after that, boom, you had the offering going out. They took advantage of the squeeze. And I told everybody GNS would do this, so I don't know, man. Like, everyone that's in this stock, I feel bad that I told you guys, you can't. Everybody wants these CEOs, and I say this, Adam Aaron, Ryan, all of these guys. Everyone wants AMC to issue a dividend, and it's like, okay, you want fundamentals matter, and I'm so fucking sick and tired of people not talking about fundamentals mattering, because they matter about everything. People that say fundamentals don't matter, the very next thing they say is they completely start bitching about how Adam Aaron dilutes the stock. Now let me ask you a question. If your company is not making enough money on revenue and you have bills to pay, what other choice do you have? You're going to have to dilute or do an offering or do something to pay those bills. It's just how it is. If you're making enough money, if your fundamentals are improved, if the box office is back and you're thriving and you're making 100 million, 200 million a quarter and you're good to go, guess what? There's zero reason to dilute. So how can you tell me you can pay with it with your fucking revenue? There's no reason to dilute on top of that, unless you have something that you're like, all right, we absolutely have to have this. And we can justify it to all these people and blah, blah, blah. If you have great fundamentals, you're good to go. You don't need to sit there and fucking dilute. If AMC can finally get to the point where, again, he was talking about how they want their popcorn making over 100 million. I don't know why the suites aren't out in stores yet. Maybe it's a money thing, but I figured by now we'd have, these suites out in stores, or trying to get that out in stores. Obviously, you had a great relationship with Walmart. Why don't you try? I mean, like I said, maybe it's money thing. I don't know yet, but maybe the suites aren't flying out. I don't know. That's one of the things that I wish they would start doing is breaking down the numbers on the suites and the popcorn and just give us a fucking number. You know what I mean? I wish I knew what those numbers were. Instead, we get to guess every time. So, again, fundamentals completely matter. Stop saying that they don't matter. And now those same people sit there and say, we need to create a dividend just to get the shorts. We need to go ahead, say they're making a dividend, and he needs to sit there and complain about short sellers, and then complain about him, and then say, we're getting this dividend, have the stock jump up, and then, like I said, it's like, it's going to be the same type situation. You cannot just issue a dividend to get short sellers. It's against the rules, and they know that shit's against the rules, but they don't care. Because here's the thing that I've learned with all this shit, dude. It doesn't matter. The crime's never going to fit how much you're going to benefit and make off of it. It never will. So these guys, of course, they're going to do stuff like that. I mean, I didn't pay attention to that whole Torchlight thing. I didn't get involved in it. I didn't like it from the start. So, I mean, again, I don't know the exact facts about this, but what I'm reading in these filings and everything I'm reading in just even this thing, this little complaint letter and all this stuff, I don't know. It seems like the CEOs obviously should not have been able to do this, but again, I don't know. I have not been in here too much. But again, just goes to show you guys. You guys got to stop saying these CEOs need to come out, go fucking crazy, and say that they're doing stuff just to stick it to the short sellers and stick it to the man. They're gonna hit them like this every fucking time. And that's the case. And if here's the thing, if you're gonna come out here and, like I said, give out an illegal dividend in the first place, then give out a different value of the dividend, so you go, all right, now, this is the problem, you guys. They talked about a dividend, and that's the value behind the dividend. Then you over-exaggerated to investors the value of the dividend in the first place. So now it's already an illegal dividend. And then on top of that, you say that the dividend, the whole sole purpose of the dividend is to come out and squeeze the short sellers. Okay? So now that's already illegal step number 2. Okay? So you've already done 2 fucking illegal things. And then all these people come jumping in Okay, so now all these people come jumping in because you misrepresented the dividend, the value of the dividend, and then you told people what the reason you did it in the first place again is illegal. So then everybody jumped in, and now you've diluted the fuck out of them with an ATM offering. Looks suspicious as number 3. So I understand exactly where the SEC is coming from at this point. Understand why MMTPL people are sitting there going, we got fucked. And yeah, I'm sorry. I think you guys did. I mean, like I said, I haven't been following MMTPL as much as all these people in it. Because if you weren't in it, it's like all this stuff's going on. They're doing all these filings. I guess, I don't know. I need to get way more into everything that's going on behind the scenes. But from this filing and from reading the actual SEC filing and going through the documents, going through all the pages, it seems like that's what happened. And like I said, you already did 3 illegal things at this point. So whatever else Matt does, I don't know. Everyone says it would have caused the squeeze. It would have done this, but they stopped it. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know the back end on how they stopped all that. I'm just telling you from a person from the outside and reading this, this is all illegal stuff. So yes, I'm not surprised that the SEC is going after these guys. Now, if that wasn't the sole purpose of the dividend, then we got a whole new thing. Then you can go after them for, again, doing misvalue of the dividend, but then still you sold off after false pretenses on how you evaluated this dividend in the first place, and everyone jumped in because of your false evaluation. They still could have got them. So again, no matter what, they were going to get got right there. So I'm saying, you guys, stop telling these CEOs, Adam Aaron, come out and say you're going to get a dividend to fuck the shorts up. Okay, then we're going to get hit with that same lawsuit. He's going to get in fucking trouble. And if like I said, it's going to be the same type shit. He's going to see a giant spike. Of course, he's going to sell on the spike. He's going to get in trouble. We're all going to get. It's going to be the same crap. It's just like, the way Adam Aaron can issue a dividend is he can say, hey, fundamentally, we're recovered. Fundamentally, we think it brings value to the shareholders. It brings value. We'll get more investors. We believe that a dividend, it's beneficial. And you have to prove that it's beneficial and show it's beneficial. And that's how you get your dividend. And that's why I keep stressing to everybody, fundamentals fucking matter. That will lead you to your dividend that you want. And then if a company that is fundamentally successful, has money in the bank, issues a dividend, what the fuck can the SEC say? Nothing. What are you going to say? Hey, you have everything set up. You're making enough to pay out the dividend. Everything's great, but I think you're doing it to get the shorts. No. You cover all your grounds. The second AMC is fundamentally sound, secure, box office is great, ready to go, maybe next year sometime, because he just showed he can issue it. It's up to the board to issue it. There's nothing else holding us back. There's no more covenants. It's up to them. So at that point, if AMC next year, let's say, Q3, Q1 was smashing it, Q2 smashed it, Q3 was on set to smash it, and you're looking over and you're going, yes, we can issue a dividend. There's nothing we can say. Short sellers are fucked. Sweet. Let's go. Let's all go for the ride, and everyone wins. But we cannot create these things just to say we have to go after shorts or we will get fucked. Because, of course, they're going to protect them instead of help us. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you guys is everybody is seeing this fucking... Everyone is seeing the shit I've been saying with NVIDIA. And this... All of them are running on the same hill. You see everything going up. The second NVIDIA goes down. They're using NVIDIA as collateral for fucking everything. They're all running on the same stupid-ass hill, and it's fake. And they're sitting there all making up new shell companies to pump up some more and order some more and keep demand high. And they're getting investigated by literally every single fucking regulator known to man. Now you have everyone coming out. Is the stock market setting up investors for a tech bust similar? Because they want everyone jumping in now. Everyone's coming into AI. The thing is, I wish I would have held it up. There was another article showing 0.72s now jumping into it. So now you're getting family office money, which is why after this quick sell-off, because right now what you're having is NVIDIA's insiders are selling off the stock as fast as possible. Now, this is what always happens in these Ponzi's, and eventually they'll go down, and these insiders have been just raking in, and they'll keep raking in as much as they possibly can because they know that it's coming soon. Doesn't know when, but they know it's coming soon, so they're going to keep on selling and selling. They don't care if the price goes up. They're going to just keep going and going and going because they know at any point it could just stop. Now, this thing talks about basically NVIDIA, AI, how it's like it's bigger than basically itself's basically bigger than fucking everything in the world. It's the biggest thing ever, and it's all because of AI, the demand. And then you look at all of the companies, like I said, once again, this demand, and you realize, and everybody that knows about round tripping, everyone fucking knows it's a bubble. The only people that don't know it's a bubble, the only people that don't know it's fucking inflated, are the lemmings running in now. And they'll get hit. They'll get hit because most of them aren't going to sit there and sell. They're going to keep thinking we're going to keep going and going, and they're going to slam it down. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you guys is they're talking about how this is even possible. And I want you guys to read this article here. But how is this possible? How is anyone even able to do this still? And it comes down here and it talks about how every single thing that is all of this is all done because nothing is done by regulation. All regulation is themselves, which we've gone over. They all turn a blind eye to everything. And it talks about how everyone is bribed, paid off, blindfolded they're like blindfolded traffic cops. They now have new speed guns, but they're trying to take the new speed guns away, which I've pretty much used that analogy before too. It's like they use their dark pools, their hidden trading platforms. Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting. Now, this is a couple years old, so this isn't new. But I do want to highlight this because it who says that they're not still doing it? Because 1 second here, where is it? Here you go. Because just like it was talking about with this, so they have. Specific platforms for hiding stuff, things like that. Well, one of the things that I found going over, I always like to just, Google SEC, crime, fraud, and see things that come up. Well, look at this. Talking about hidden platforms and shit, Citigroup ran a secret, unregistered stock exchange, listen to this shit, for 3 years. For 3 years. In that time, during that time, okay, so the SEC buried the information. So the SEC buried the information that Citigroup was running an illegal stock exchange within its cease and desist order and settled documents. In fact, what the SEC actually did was to dump 2 vastly different violations of security law lying to customers and running an illegal stock exchange. So if you come over here and look at the amount that ran through this, look at this. Citigroup executed more than 7 billion shares of stock before anybody even fucking knew about it. No one even knew about it for 3 years. I mean, like Peter wrote, that's just as bad as JP Morgan's manipulation in the precious metal market, as they have the biggest short position in the fucking world in gold because they're dumber than hell. So 7 billion shares were executed and no one even knew they were executed and where they're executed at or what price. It was literally like they executed them, got the share, quoted it at whatever the fuck they wanted to quote it. Like, it's unbelievable. So again, they got all these secret little hidden platforms, exchanges, bribing people. But I just wanted the people to look into this because, like I said, it has a lot of other information as well. But everybody talks about the tech bubble here. That's definitely happening here with NVIDIA that I've been talking about. But one of the next things I do want to get into is I've been talking about these buy now, pay later, these bubbles, and how they're smashing these guys. Well, guess who just got hit hard? Apple. Here's the thing with Apple. They have these $3,000 cell phones and make you do fucking install payments. Do buy now, pay later, and guess what? No one cares because you can sit there and after you get the phone, you can get the, you can go out, this is what people are doing. Now, I'm not encouraging this, but this is what people are doing, which was smacking Apple and these other phones. When you do the buy now, pay later, you go out, you get a brand new phone, okay? And then you can go online, and there's all these people that have phones, too, and they're just looking for different carriers. Hold on, my dog is... Thank you. I don't know where he got my shoe from. He's just chewing on my shoe under me. If there isn't a Murphy Brown appearance, what are we doing? So what they'll do is they'll get this phone, okay? They'll grab their phone, they'll make their first payment of like $100. But I already told you, these don't affect your credit scores. These are these buy now, pay later loans. Okay, they're not backed by Verizon, or by Apple. They're basically paid by Apple through these lending programs, okay? So people, what they'd do is they'd go out and get an Apple phone, they'd make their first payment, then they would never make a payment again. Doesn't affect their credit score. They can't get an Apple phone, and big fucking deal. Now they have a brand new Apple phone for $120 or whatever their first down payment was. Okay? And now you can go ahead and sell that Apple phone or trade it for any fucking phone you want. And now you got a brand new $1,500 phone for $120. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. Obviously it's a one-time deal. But hey, here's the thing. A lot of people, if you think about it, with their buy now, pay now, or get buy now, pay later schemes, one of the things, people are going to use most, because what do you use more than anything? Cell phones. So, most people think, hey, everybody's using it on furniture and everybody probably thinks furnitures, TVs, electronics. Yeah, the electronic they were getting was these cell phones, because if you get one of these, like right now, I got this, what is this thing? It's the Fold. Oh, crap. Turn that off. It's one of those folds. And it's like, when you open that up, like, dude, it's like a mini TV. Like, when you're driving around, I mean, having a nice, super nice phone like that, to me, is almost as good as any, if not better than any electronic. You'll use that more than anything. So it's like, that's where people are going. And like I said, they were just scamming the shit out of Apple. So Apple was basically just losing money out this, and these lenders were losing money. Well, guess what? They now finally go, all right, Apple Pay is no longer offering new loans. Existing Apple Pay loans, the old loans aren't affected. Like, they're like, no, just keep paying your loans, of course. But they're no longer going to do buy now, pay later. Because they're fucking scams. They're just hoping everyone makes their payment. But here's the problem. People that are getting these mostly can't go get. They don't have the credit, or they don't have cash. So they're obviously last resorting buy now, pay later. And there you go. It's people that don't already have the money, and they're looking over going, this doesn't even affect my credit score. And I told you this is exactly what's going to start happening with like Affirm and all these other things. The first things that are going to start to go down, it's not going to be credit cards that aren't getting the payments first. It's going to be these buy now, pay later things. They're going to be the very first thing everyone's like, well, fuck those things. And they're just not going to pay them anymore. And after that, it's going to go to credit cards. But the first fucking thing that's going to go is these buy now, pay now. Affirm is going to get smashed on. And like I said, I can't wait until that happens. But like I said, this is what's going to start happening with these buy now, pay laters. They're going to start defaulting and defaulting and defaulting until they stop offering them. Which is another funny thing, because remember when I brought this up like 6 months ago? Remember, Wells Fargo rolled out a new credit card that you can use to pay rent. And it's a money loser. Wells Fargo is losing $10 million a month. Wells Fargo was losing $10 million a month on their new credit card. People that couldn't pay rent, they went out and said, hey, just use this credit card and it will pay your rent for you. And then we'll just fucking charge you 21%. Well, guess what? Here's the thing, guys. If I'm going to default on a fucking credit card, or I'm going to default, so let's say I have just enough money to pay rent or this card, Eventually, they're going to look over and say, I'm going to default on this credit card because I'm not going to lose my fucking house. I'm just going to get a credit knock. But if I default on my loan, I'm going to lose my fucking house. So they're going to pay their house. They're going to, when it comes down to that moment where they're like, all right, I have no choice. They're going to go over and just pay their fucking their rent, their house, whatever off, and then fuck them over on anything they owe. Because here's the thing about this. They were letting people get a month behind. So when you're letting people get a month behind, suddenly they're just like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna just stop paying it. So the next thing you notice, they'd owe $3,000 or $1,700 in rent, and they just would say, fuck that credit card. And then they just pay their $1,750. And guess what? Wells Fargo's getting smashed because people are defaulting on these. Like I said, these guys are trying to come up with every single thing that they can do to make money, but single thing they're trying to do is losing money now because we're all fucking broke as shit. Now, I want to get into the economy here real quick because I want to show people, like I said, you guys, this shit, not everything has to be about, all right, guys, go buy AMC stock. All right, guys, here's some things. Gold's looking pretty good right now. I mean, there's a lot of things commodity-wise, physical gold, things like that are looking real good right now. I want to show you just how bad the economy is because when you finally understand that quick, you're going to go, holy fuck. So Biden talks about his job growth, and oh, there's other economies booming, job growth, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I showed you guys more than ever in the history of life, people are working 2 jobs. That's why when everyone wants to cry about me back in the day, you deliver Domino's. Yeah, I'm also a general contractor. I have 2 jobs. I do that one 50 hours a week, and I did the other one like 18. Oh my God. Like I said, hilarious. So more than ever in history, are working 2 jobs. What the hell? Are working 2 jobs. And every other day he's like, oh man, look at all these jobs we're creating. Well, all of a sudden a report comes out. You know, the report comes out every year. And it turns out they overestimated job growth by 800,000. So every time Joe Biden said, I made 4 jobs, 1 out of those 4 jobs were a lie, were fake, or were misrepresented, or their numbers were calculated incorrectly. 1 in 4. So he had a 25% error on overestimating job growth last year. 25% they lied to you. And that's just what we know about. So it's probably more in the 30 range. So they've overlied job growth by 33%. Okay, so that's not a very good thing. Well, what that means is you're going to have less GDP, and less GDP than even projected, right? Okay, well, look at this. U.S. government held by the public soared from 76% of GDP in 2017 to 97% of GDP. That's fucking insane. The second you get over 100%, guess what? That's basically your government spending more than they're bringing in their entire economic output. Okay? That's more than we're spending in the entire economic output. Now, what happens if you get over 100%? You're pretty much in a massive, massive debt spiral. You're going to have to refinance. You're going to have to restructure this or do that. Like the entire government's going to have to do an entire shift of some kind. Or they can do what they always try to do, and they can go ahead and put it off and let the bomb grow bigger. But the problem is when you're borrowing out this way, you have a reserve. So the only other solution you can do is to print more money. Well, if you're printing money to just catch up your deficit down there, you're printing inflation into you're printing inflation, making that your Band-Aid to go directly into the deficit that you're making in your own government. So in other words, you're funding your own deficit by printing, which will skyrocket inflation. And on top of that, you're not even fixing the problem. So again, I don't know what they're going to do, but you're close to the point where you're at literally over 100%. It's like maxing out your credit card and then getting another credit card to max out that credit card. and then going over to somebody you know to borrow money, like the Fed, aka print more money off for us to give straight to us, when the Fed themselves are already fucked. I'll show you that in a second. But when you look at the Fed and the Fed debt, federal debt went up $8 billion just on Friday. On top of that, the Treasury reserves already dropped another $8 billion. So like I said, they're already tapping some of the reserves and adding more debt now. So when you add more debt and you're doing this, we're going to get closer to this 100% way faster than you guys understand. Our government's spending more than they make in their entire output. Okay? And on top of that, look at our debt. We're now up to $34,733 billion. No big fucking deal. So that's just skyrocketing. And on top of that, if you look right now, this is what I'm talking about. This is what upsets me with all of this shit. Because it always falls on taxpayers. It always falls on us to bail them out, fix it, and do all this stuff. And then when you look at, in the end of the day, who holds all of the debt? This is what I want people to finally understand, citizens. If citizens start to understand this, maybe you guys start to unite and figure this out and go, hey, you owe us. Everybody sits there and thinks all of the federal debt and all of this government debt is held by all of these other countries. There's all of this demand. And I sat there and showed you demand for our treasuries is dropping drastically. Drastically. It was 11%. That's a fuck ton. That's a fuck ton. Other countries don't want our trash because they see the garbage that I'm showing you right in front of you. Our government, it's not sustainable. It's not even close to sustainable. And on top of that, it's getting worse and they're not even addressing it still. And now you're getting to the point where it's 100%. And I know everybody sits there and goes, well, they can do this and this forever. No, you're now reaching 100% in all of these categories. They're borrowed out. The Federal Reserve, their lending program's tapped out. The only place left is the discount window. Well, they can't even, you're seeing the secondary window jump. There's nowhere for these fuckers to go. They're getting tapped out. The government above them that has been bailing them out, they're tapped out. They can't keep going to the taxpayers. We're all fucking tapped out. Where are you going to go here? So there is a point where this completely stops. And I know I've said that before, but each time I've said it, it's like you've gone from 80% to 92% to 96%. You're now at 97%, and it's getting worse daily. It's getting worse by the second. Like I said, we're right at that 100% number. We're getting right there now. But when you come and you look at this, this was in 2023, and this is when we were at 33 trillion. You've now added 4 trillion more. So I would say this is more around 29 to 29.5 trillion. 29.5 trillion of the government debt is held by us. It's held by the public. We're their fucking creditors. Us. We're the ones, we're all their creditors. In their world, in what reality do creditors have no say when you're overspending, when you're at 100%? When you're at 100% of your spending, of your entire fucking national GDP. All your national output, all of it. I said this is beyond fucking ridiculous. What criminals are, what we're even allowing is unreal. And how this ever gets fixed, I don't know. I don't know if it ever can, and that's what I'm saying. At this point, why you are seeing all of those central banks, I've shown you over the last 2 years. I told you 3 years ago, get in fucking gold, and you've been making a killing ever since. The value of all that money that you put into that gold is not only held, it's gone up. Meanwhile, the dollar is getting deflated by the second, value is going down, and this is my point. Central banks are at the historic level, once again, buying gold. They've been for the last 3 years straight. They're letting all of these computers and all of these numbers make up all these fake everything. And this is one of the exact categories I said that they were going to do if they couldn't fucking fix it. If they couldn't get out of this shit, you do your economic explosion. Because either way, all these rich fucking guys, when they get caught, they have all these yachts and this and that have value of whatever the fucking next monetary value is. They have islands and this and fucking that and billion-dollar fucking homes, and they don't give a shit. The rich are set up to be rich no matter what happens in all scenarios. And that's why I wrote you guys that quote that should fucking, the thing pissed me off more than anything. This douchebag here. That's why I hate fucking JP Morgan. The U.S. economy is in a selective recession as lower income consumers can't cover most of the cost of living. Neither can middle fucking class. So they're like, don't worry, guys. We're not in a recession because rich people are just fine. But it's just everyone else. So who cares? It's a selective. It's selecting the 99%. Why the 1%'s just fine. Oh, cool. Sounds like a fucking recession to me. So again, the fucking numbers are generating, they're maxing their shit out, and at the same time, why they're gonna have to start borrowing out of the reserves, guess what? This fucking thing's at 180 billion. The Federal Reserve now are operating at 180 billion fucking loss. So all this money, okay, so why does it matter about the reserve? Well, all the money that's supposed to also be funding the reserve from the Treasury, from the reserve, from the feds, I'm sorry, it's not coming in. Instead they're shuffling IOUs. They're sending IOUs over there. Does that not sound like a problem to everybody? So another source of funding the Treasury is getting fucked from IOUs from the Fed. Like I said, good old Powell and his printing machine. This stuff's gonna, like I said, it's adding up in the back end, back end. No rate cuts are coming because they can't fucking afford to do it. The treasuries are gonna go. Banks are gonna go under fucking horribly. And I'm gonna be ready for it. Because every single sign's telling us, you guys, this went up another $9 billion from 1 week ago. That means next week we're gonna be at $186 billion, $85 billion loss. That's not gonna recover anytime soon. That's fuck 'em, man. On top of that, what's the one thing I told you? You have 8.1 trillion now in treasuries coming renewed. 1 second here. Let me make sure she doesn't need any help bringing any groceries in. Give me 1 second. Okay, no, she's good. She's good. On top of that, U.S. federal interest payments now exceed defense budgets. So not only are we now borrowing more than what we make, the interest we're paying on that is now going to be coming into your number 2 expense. Like I said, after that 8.1 trillion is renewed at the end of this year, by the end of this year in December, you will be at 1.6 trillion. It will be your number 1 payment. So you're spending more than you can, you're borrowing more than you spend, and it's just like what we've been saying with everything else. Like if you look at these credit cards now, what's going to happen? Well, when your credit goes up, when your credit goes worse, just like with all of us in the United States, guess what? Your rates are going to have to go up. Your credit card rates are going to have to go up. Credit card rates have now skyrocketed, averaged to 21%. So now, just like I've been saying with the treasuries, because now the government is spending too much, the feds can't print enough to get in there. They're losing money. So again, less is going in the treasury. We're making less. You're not taxing as much people because guess what? You've stomped out your middle and lower class, which is who you've been making pay all your taxes and all your bailouts. Well, they no longer can afford those taxes and bailouts. So again, this is not gonna last forever. I know everyone thinks it can, but it can't. I know everyone says they can print forever, but when too many bubbles are boiled up, this pot's too fucking full. There's nothing these guys are gonna be able to do at this point. Said it's gonna be worse than 2008. It's gonna be way worse than anything you guys have seen in a long, long time. These numbers are like I said, they're like fake numbers at this point. Now, one of the last things I did want to show people, because, well, a couple of last things here. This is exactly what I said was coming, and it's complete bullshit. And this is why I fucking hate what's happening in this country, because this is exactly what the criminals do, and I just want to show you exactly the timeline, because this is how they get their fucking way all the time. If anyone stands in their way, they do blackmail, they do pay people to write slander, scandals, whatever they need to do. Bribe you, they'll get you out of there. So one of these things I want people to see. This came out yesterday, and I knew it was coming, and I've warned everybody this was fucking coming. Said it right here. The second they got this guy, the head of the FDIC, out, the endgame rules were about to get dismantled. Now, comes out yesterday. Federal Reserve floats weaker capital version of the plan to basically the endgame rules. And I told you that they're going to have a new revised thing coming out real soon, and they want weaker things. And this guy who was at the head of the FDIC was basically like, no, I'm not going to do that. So what they ended up doing, they ended up saying, all right, well, then we're going to get you the hell out of there. I want you guys to read these. A deep dive into the unprecedented Wall Street Journal attack on the head of the FDIC chairman. Okay? So, they came out there slandering this guy, talking crap. And this is a company that hates regulators, blah, blah, blah. Always is in it for the big man. Wonder why. Because as we went over, they're the main, they own it. Of course, they're going to say good things about themselves. So, anyone that stands in their way, this is what they got to do. So they come out and talk about all these women and all this stuff that apparently talking about sexual harassment and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, read this. 6 big banks, okay? Remember this. The 6 big banks are forced to declare $9.3 billion in additional FDIC expenses. This is another reason they're out to get this guy. So they've been out to get this guy because he's actually like, all right, at some point you guys got to pay what you fucking got to pay because we're going to get fucked. Crazy. So then watch what happens here. Where is it? Wrong one. Here you go. So then what ends up happening? An independent, and I'm going to say that in quotes, an independent report comes out and talks about how this guy and this giant sex scandal is going on, okay? So let's go ahead and let's pull this up. Okay. Here you go. Independent report. It turns out the people who got this report in this law firm was paid for by big banks. Okay? So the same big banks that don't like this guy at all, they now banded together to attempt this. These same exact banks. Here we go. Hold on. Where the fuck? I thought it named them. It should. Hold on, I'll get out all this, whatever. It's J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, all the top fucking losers. Well, those guys pay this independent reporter to come out with a giant article about how the FDIC is nothing but a sex house. Giant sex scandals everywhere. This guy's allowing it. This guy's doing it. It's just a madhouse in there, you guys. It's just sex and craziness. All of a sudden. Right when they want their vote. Okay? So, There was 108 times of sexual misconduct. Okay. Now, Grudenberg held the deciding vote, FDIC, last July when the bank regulators approved the plan going forward. So basically, if they would have got this guy to say no, there would be no endgame rules. So now that this guy's against the big banks and said, nope, I'm not going to vote for you, shortly after there's a sex scandal. Now, these mega banks, here you go. These mega banks that have banded together, they've now tried to stop the Federal Reserve. They tried to stop the OCC. They basically are suing everybody. No one is fighting harder from these mega banks than Jamie Dimon. Now, as we went over before, I don't know if we even went into this yet. Did I skip that? I skipped that. I skipped this. What am I doing? Well, let's go back, because then I'll come into this. That's how I'll do it. All right, we're going to go back quick. So, these same banks, now I want you to understand this. Now this ties together. This is insanely important, okay? Remember everything I was just talking about. So these guys right here, these guys are scared shitless about the endgame rules. They needed this guy who is the head of the FDIC, who needs these mega banks to fund the FDIC and the insurance, okay? So this guy says, we're going to go, I need you to have more requirement. You need to follow these endgame rules, because if we go under again, we don't have enough capital to cover all these deposits. The bankers say, no, fuck that, because if we put this much capital on the side, we're not going to make enough money and we're going to go broke. So, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to get you out of there. Well, now when you come back over here, you kind of understand why after that recap. This kind of comes out and happens. So, if you guys look over here, the FDIC and the Federal Reserve Board today announced following their joint review of the July 2023 resolution plan. So this talks about the bank's wills. So in case something happens, their contingency plans, what they're going to do with their assets, sell it off, how they will cover everybody's losses, everybody will get paid out, the FDIC doesn't have to take a giant hit. So now you understand why the FDIC is like, nope, you need to have your requirements and your reserves ready, because if something happens to you, we need to know that there's a plan in place and you guys can meet the requirements. Well, today comes out saying that they gave this to 8 banks. Just 8, guys. Just 8. Out of those 8 banks, 4 of them failed, which means that their last will, their reserve, their plans, all of it meant, hey, you guys aren't doing this right. You didn't do enough, and that means the taxpayers are going to have to pay a whole bunch of money. You need to come up with a new reserve plan. You need to come up with a new will. You need to fix this. So in other words, these guys know that if this end game comes in place, they will be fucked. And then they know once they're fucked, their backup plan, it's not there. There's shortcomings, as they put it, everywhere. In other words, we're gonna end up paying the giant fucking bill for this shit. So then they tell them that they need to get that fixed. You guys need to get this fixed. And guess who it is? The banks that failed are Bank of America, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan Chase. They're 4 out of these 6 banks that paid for this independent report to get this guy out, so then they can go ahead and do their fucking these new rules to get them in place. He's gone, he resigned, and now they can go ahead and put their new revisions in, and now these fucking corrupt piles of shit will go ahead and lower that reserve requirement. But even though currently at this current moment in time, they already don't have enough or a good enough will or a backup plan in place in case they fucking go under. That means everyone's okay with the American taxpayer. Once again, just, all right, well, if it does get too crazy, you guys will just pay for it. Like I said, it's a giant gong show. They fuck us all day long, and I can't believe. And like I said, we just sit here and we fucking allow it. But like I said this right away. The second this guy got fired, you will see revisions here very shortly, and here they are. What a joke. What an absolute fucking joke. The delinquency rate of credit card debt at small to medium-sized banks actually hit a record. So once again, people are now defaulting on their credit cards, running out of last resorts. This economy is in a lot of trouble, my friends. Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing with Phase 6. Like I said, Phase 6, I thought would have did something because it's worldwide, but it turns out they own the world fucking bank. So, does anyone have any questions at all? Any questions at all? Like I said with this MMTPL, just an outsider looking in, it seems like the CEOs, this was pretty illegal though, and they knew it. You can't say that you created a dividend just for squeezing out shorts and then instantly do an ATM offering during that, giving them a time period as well, saying we have 2 days. We have 2 days to take advantage of the squeeze as you're doing fucking ATM offerings. Everybody. That's like saying we're doing an ATM offering. Everybody, if we don't buy up this new ATM offering in 1 day, we can't squeeze the shorts. Literally, think about that. I'm going to put this out. You guys, we're going to put this out, get this offering out. We have 2 days to sell this entire offering or we can't squeeze. Okay. How bad is this depression going to be? Pretty fucking bad because people are already living off paychecks to paychecks. People that want to talk shit to delivery drivers, well, they'll probably be just fine because their wages aren't going to go down. People still got to eat. But like I showed you guys with the new job openings, they're lying about 1 in 4, and then on top of that, the 3 out of 4 they're actually making, 60% are government jobs. Cool. So we all just go work for the man quick, or you're like fucked. Good job. Good job, government. But this is what I always said. We need an economic crash. We need a crash to hit this MOAS. It's the only way to make them have to cover it all at once. And I believe there's a lot of these swaps. I believe there's a lot of these derivatives that won't get covered until they absolutely fucking have to. And that will be the only time you get a MOAS. You can get short squeezes, but a MOAS is the mother of all squeezes. That means all of these people are paying because all of these people are fucked. So... Oh, thank you, Liv. Ooh, a little monkey. MMTP, what's the share count? Like I said, I'm not too sure. I never got involved in MMTPL. All I saw, I told everybody to stay away from all those things. The GNSs. GNS turned out to be the same type of thing, that all those covenants, warrants go off. They did their offerings right away. Oh, guys, we're going to get them. It's like, no, you just... There were CEOs, and this is what I don't like. There were definitely CEOs that were out there and saw people being dedicated and saw people running it, and we're like, all right, we're going to get that type of shit over into our thing. All we need to do is just say, hey, we're going to go after the shorts. Hey, we're going to go after these people. Hey, my stock's fucking manipulated. Hey, look at this. And people will come running just because the CEO said it. Like I told people, stay the fuck away. Oh, we're going to band together and do this and make this triple. No, I mean, just... If it was that easy, it would have been done by now. But that's manipulation, and that's exactly what they're getting charged with. Market fucking manipulation. On top of that, you told people the reason this was made was to squeeze shorts. On top of that, you told your preferred investors, your preferred stockholders, that they were going to get a different amount of value from these preferred things because you were going to sell, you had more assets and oil and gas assets you were going to sell off more aggressively, and you didn't sell them off more aggressively. You didn't get that extra money you told them they were going to do. Like I said, it was fraud all across the board. So I get it. But like I said, is it bullshit that they sit there and make it, hey, you can't go after people just because they're short something? Why? They can go after me because I'm long something. That's why I hate the market. You will protect the short sellers, but we won't protect long investors. Long investors can take it up the ass. If you go long, it's all about, hey, are you willing to just take it up the ass over and over until the stock hits a price? Are you able to hold like Warren Buffett? Sure. Or are you gonna be like all these other guys who make money and day trade and fucking option trade? And of course there's ways to make money, but for your average everyday investor that goes, I'm gonna just come in here, I'm gonna take money, throw it into a stock, go long on it, and it's just a ride until you can finally get there, as long as you can. Are you able to fucking hold out? Are you able to say, all right, this is the company I'm putting all my faith in, everything says this should do it? And that's what I'm saying. It's definitely set up more for the short than it is for the long, which is stupid, because it's like, you shouldn't be profiting off trying to destroy companies. You should be profiting off companies' profits. Were you able to look at my message on DRS? I am going to look at your message on DRS right now, my friend. Is it on Twitter or is it on here? Biggums, can the election do anything? I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I hate both candidates. But I mean, Biden, good God, if we have another Biden term, Jesus. Oh, I don't think anything. I think it's going to be even worse. And I mean, I never like Republicans because they're always pro-fucking rich. I'm not pro-Republican either. Like, I think Donald's a fucking nutcase. But I mean, so I do like some of the things he does, at least. But I'm not really a Donald fan at all. I know I'm laughing about him, but I'm just laughing because he does some of the stupidest and says some of the stupidest things I've ever seen. But he's hilarious. Like, dude, that video he put up of Biden when he was fucking, like, Biden was giving speeches. That was funny, but like I said, he's an idiot too. I don't like either of them. I never like any politician. Either way, whatever dark money gives to the politician, that's who they're going to be for. It's not like Donald Trump's going to come in and go, I'm only going to be for the people and I'm going to fix this. Yeah, he's going to say he's going to clean the swamp, but if I had to pick one with a gun to my fucking head, because no matter what, like I said, I've never voted in my life, so I've never voted in my life. Let me say that again. I've never voted in my life, so don't take my opinion on who to vote for. But if I had to pick one gun to my head, I'd have to go with Donnie. Just because I don't think we could handle another Biden, dude. I really don't. Everything he takes credit on was lied about, as I showed you with the job growth. So, I don't know. And on top of that, like, his stupid high-speed cable internet thing costed us $42 billion. And 2 years later, nothing. Nobody's hooked up to it, and they gave up on it. So they spent $42 billion of taxpayer money to do what? Nothing? Come up with a fake fucking internet thing? And didn't you remember all that money we spent on fucking those EV stands or whatever? We need all these stations. We need all these electronic gas stations. It's fucking vital. And then nobody uses them, and they built like 3 of them. So it's like he's just wasting hundreds of billions. How much he sent to you, fucking Ukraine? Like, it is what it is on your Ukraine, if you agree with it or not. But it's like, okay. Again, you guys send nothing to us, but you'll send fucking everything over there. It's crazy to me. Blows my mind. Diluting at 43 cents makes no sense. Well, sometimes you got to work with the stock price that you have. I mean, if here's the thing with Adam Aaron. if Adam Aaron's going to dilute, it's not going to be at 43 cents. It's not going to be an ATM offering. If Adam Aaron's going to dilute, he's going to do another debt for equity exchange to push his maturity out. And as he showed you in the last debt for equity exchange, in every single one he's done, guess what? He gets above market value every time. So when we dilute next, it'll be Adam Aaron diluting at $5.10 a share, $5.15 a share, 20 cents a share, whatever. Like if he did it today, I'm using that as an example because it's $4.50, but currently, but obviously that amount can change. I'm just saying he's going to do it over the value of whatever that current market price is. You don't do debt for equity exchanges unless you do it for above market price, because then you line your interests up with the lender that you're giving those shares to. That means those lenders are not going to sell those shares until they're at a profitable price. So you make it above the current market value and make sure that they hold until they at least get to that value. And you want them to hold till, obviously the price recovers even more. So again, with AMC, I see a debt for equity exchange very soon. Right after that, I expect an announcement finally. No longer this, hey, they're sitting down with them. AMC's sitting down with them. AMC's negotiating. I believe you see one more debt for equity exchange, might be 20 million shares. Pop off another 100 million of that plus, and the next thing you notice, you'll extend that out. No more of these. It should be your announcement. After you get that announcement out that you have restructured debt, your price will recover and you'll be good to go. And then from there, box office is recovered fully. This should be our last quarter of just trash, and it wasn't even that bad. It's actually doing pretty well. Doesn't look like Monday hasn't came on here yet. So why is this? It's usually quicker than this. So Monday hasn't counted yet, but here's the thing. Like I said, I can see us having a $200 million weekend with The Quiet Place, with Horizon. You still got Bad Boys, which is going to bring in, still, even if it's $8-10 million, still adds up. That all these little things add up. Inside Out 2 could still kill it. That's the thing about Inside Out 2. If you have this with Inside Out 2 only rocking, Inside Out 2 rocking it, and then you add 2 new big movies, like I said, A Quiet Place 2 could do very, very, very well opening weekend. Horizon, I don't see Horizon like coming out and crushing it. I'm not saying that's going to be like super massive, but I could see it at least doing 25, 30, maybe more, hopefully a lot more. But again, that all adds up. So we get to 1.9. If we're at 1.9, we still won't be profitable. But again, you'll be able to now keep, 100 million of that 250 million offering that you gave out on the quarter. So you'll be plus positive, with that offering, you'll still be plus 100 million on the quarter. So too much dilution to have a MOAS now. If you think that they've diluted more than there are swaps, here, let me show you. Let me show you guys something real quick. Don't go yet. Let's look at this one more time together. I want you guys to, one more time, stare at this report. This is from your government. This is from a government investigation called the GameStop report. Talks about just Robinhood alone. And before they pushed off the buy button, approximately 850 million at-risk value was attributed to AMC, and approximately 250 million was attributed to GameStop at the time. They took all of this and they put it in swaps. And then they added to those swaps and added to those swaps and added to those swaps and made more swaps and more fucking swaps. And then they made even more swaps. And then they put them over here. And then they put them over there. And here's the thing. A lot of people keep asking me about the CAT system. When's it going to kill? When's it going to get them? It's getting errors. The CAT system's picking up errors. The OCC report showed that it's getting errors. They're getting errors. The errors skyrocketed since the CAT system's gone up. It's all about SCC. Are they going to actually fucking do something? They have the ability now, and that's what I told you guys since day one. The SEC, it's all about them. Are they going to do something now? Because I told you, their excuse is always, we don't have the money, the resource, the ability to go after them. And now you do. So what's going to be your excuse? That's what I'm going to wait and see. What the fuck's your excuse now? You have no excuse now to not be able to catch everything. It's at the tip of your fucking finger. It's the push of one keystroke. You should be able to find out everything. So again, everyone that thinks AMC was nothing, all the GME elitists, you have never to this day been able to fight this fact right here. Never. I have GameStop. I have AMC. I love them both, and I hope they both fucking explode. I would fucking go crazy if they both exploded. So I'm not more pro AMC. I'm pro AMC, more pro AMC at this point, unless you're gonna play a lot more volatility strikes with GameStop, and I believe GameStop's gonna have its pops, and I'm going to have more option plays in there. For now, at this point, I'm gonna keep adding to my AMC long because I believe AMC long is where it's at that point. I do have a lot of GameStop contracts as well, but like I said, I want them both to explode. I don't care which one blows up more or whatever at this point. I'm in both. So everyone's going, oh, I'm not an elite AMC. I'm an elite squeeze. I'm an elite looking at manipulation, corruption, and what that corruption tells me. And it tells me both of these should fucking blow up. It should tell both of you and everyone these bulls should blow up. My point is you can never argue that AMC was 4 fucking times the size of the AMC risk was 4 times the size of GameStop's. I've never heard a counter argument to this ever from them. Ever. Where did it all go? Where did it all go? So now anyone wants to cry about it? Well, again, we had 4 times the exposure that you guys thought was so unfucking believable. Where'd it go? Everybody, though, I do have some good news. Me and Dario. If you guys don't know who Dario is on Twitter, here is his Twitter. This man is very intelligent. I can't wait. On the 2nd, we are going to be making a video. We're going to go into NVIDIA, a whole bunch of stuff. This guy, like I said, this dude, he knows his shit. He knows him way more than me. So I'm excited because I feel like I'm going to be learning a lot from him. So this will be on the 2nd, though, of next month, right before we go up to the cabin. So I'm insanely excited to do this with him. But if you guys don't know Dario, follow him on Twitter. I don't know, I normally ever say that, but follow him on Twitter. That way you guys can get a little bit better feel for who he is before. I'm going to go ahead and post his Twitter handle quick. But me and Dario will be doing this soon. I'm going to try and get one more interview here quick as well. Hopefully in the next couple of days here with Peter Hahn. A lot of people like our Peter Hahn interviews. And then there was one other person I was going to do. It was a doctor. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to mess it up. But I'm going to be doing another interview with another person who is deeply rooted into businesses, swaps. Because one thing I don't think we understand a lot about is swaps and how they work and everything like that. So I want to go ahead and get a person who deals with that. He's in the financial market and understands a lot of these swaps better than I could ever imagine. I've been talking to him a lot about ISDA contracts and learning a lot that I'm excited to start. I'm going to start sharing with everybody over the next couple of weeks here. But I'm learning a ton about contracts and things like that from him as well. So he will be on here very shortly. So I will be doing it with a whole bunch of other people. So you guys don't hear me getting bored of me saying the same things. But like I said, guys, for little Billy, box office is recovering. Go see a movie. If you're in AMC, go see a movie. I can't stress it enough. Fundamentals lead to everything you want. You want dilution to stop? Go see a fucking movie. You want a dividend? Go see a fucking movie, and you can eventually get one. So, again, guys, stop telling me dilution doesn't matter, because or fundamentals don't matter because Adam Aaron's gonna dilute anyways. No, he's actually not if he can afford not to. So that's the last thing I gotta say today. Like I said, just prepare yourself, guys. Commodities. You know, you can always play the downside. A lot of people, there is more than one side of the market. You can play the downside also. A lot of people are so scared to always play the downside. Sell puts. You can sell a lot of things to do a lot of different strategies, you guys. Like I said, never try to stop learning the corruption just because I show you how corrupt all of this is. You know how corrupt it is. Now learn how to use that knowledge of that corruption into the system to game the system. Like I said, when it comes to options, the one thing, if you are going to learn options, guys, be okay with making just, you know, even a little bit, $100, $200 on a trade. It's sometimes okay to walk away from that. That's the hardest thing I see with people with options. They think they got to get the 1,000%. So like I said, you can go to work, you can make for how many hours and make $100, or you can do it on an option trade. And some people make $180, $120 just like that, 10, 15 minutes. But you're okay with working for the 4 hours, but not that quick, same amount. You know, that's the way you got to think about it. Don't get greedy with them. Never be afraid to take profits. Once you make a trade, don't sit there and dwell on what it went to, blah, blah, blah. Move on with your trade, make it the next way, play it down maybe. But so guys, never stop learning. Dan Penna? Who is Dan Penna? Is he on Twitter? This guy? Who is this guy? Should I know this guy? $1 trillion man and founder of QLA? Political poster promoter. I don't know who this guy is, man. I doubt. Look at this dude. He ain't coming on mine, dude. Look at this dude. There's no way in hell I'm gonna get this guy on here. I'm sure I'd have to, like, pay him or something. Alright, let's check out the Twitter real quick before we bounce. We'll just check. Oh, and look at, guys. What do you know? I started this video. Let's see this. I started this video. I know I have it on here. I think it's right around here. Okay, so we started this video at 34,733, and now we're at 34,748 by the time I ended this video. Your government added $15 billion in debt by the time I finished this video. Yay, government. Give me that. Pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. So, but if no one else has any questions, no, I want to talk to George, man. I've been wanting to get George on here. I'm going to DM him a couple more times. I would love to get George on here. I've learned so much from him and watching his videos. He doesn't seem to really understand or like the meme thing. So I would love to have him on here or have a conversation. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep DMing him a couple more times. I haven't done it in a while. I would love to get George on here though, or just go, you know, do something with him. Like I said, I know all the MMTPL people now are all upset with me because I don't understand this. But like I said, I was against all those companies in the first place, man. I sent that voice note over on X regarding the questions. Feel free to play them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you, man. Hold on. I have so many questions in a day. It's... Here you are. I got you, buddy. I got you pulled up. I will go ahead and listen to these tonight, and I will respond to you. I got you. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna head out though. But again, guys, MMTPL, y'all want, if instead of being angry with me, how about you guys educate me and tell me what happened? Because all I know right now is exactly what I told you. All I know is exactly what I read in the SEC filing and what happened. And what the SEC is accusing them of. That is literally all that I know. I have the SEC's point of view. If you're in MMTPL, I would love your point of view, and you can show me what happened. And then I can understand it more. Because you guys, you don't always have to instantly hate somebody. You can educate them. That's the ability of the internet. That is one thing we can do as retailers. Instead of fighting every time, you can say, this is what happened. Check this out, and then show me the information. Like I told you guys, I have no idea. All I know is I read an SEC filing today, and that was my point of view. It's from the SEC's point of view. So please teach me. If I'm wrong, teach me. It's that simple. Today, it's just like on X. Okay, Susan Trembath. Susan Trembath has had me blocked for like fucking ever. I don't give a shit. It's because I wasn't pro DRS. Somebody said today, you guys should do an interview. And I don't care. Of course I will. Fine. I would love to talk to her. I always want to learn from people. Sweet. She comes on. Well, you got me blocked. Well, yeah, you got me blocked, dude. Who cares at this point? Eventually, after 9 more months, I just blocked you back. I don't care about, like, I would not care. I would never block someone because they're pro DRS. I myself, I'm not pro DRS or against DRS because I understand there's fucking flaws to everything. I get there's flaws to brokers. I watch them every day. I watch people not be able to log into their shit. I know there's flaws and there's no guarantee in this. I saw Robinhood turn the fucking buy button off. I know all about brokers. I know that, but I do know in DRS, it literally says you're going to have a hard time selling in giant volatile situations. So if we're trying to do a squeeze play and I can't sell my share, well, why would I want to risk that? That's all I know. I've read every single step about DRS. I get the purpose of DRS is to vault and hold your shares. And it's like you're not literally there to. It's not a broker. It's not there to sell during those times. During massive volatile spikes, it says in there literally you might need to, it will reject it. You might need to send a handwritten letter in, to them to do it. And then it might take up to 2 weeks to sell your stock. Well, at that point, if it happens, God forbid. Well, okay, that was enough for me to turn me off from DRS. If she has more information about it, and I know about CD Company, and if you look at the CD Company and DRS, it's not like DRS takes it away from CD Company and all them. It doesn't take it away from them and the DTCC. Read about it all. It does put it in your name. It does say that you are owed that share. I will say that, and you should feel great about that because one thing with DRS, if you do it, I will agree too. You shouldn't have any problem with any of your shares going missing. A lot of people were nervous about brokers and their shares being able to go missing because guess what? It probably could fucking happen. I don't know what these guys are capable of. They do anything. They're fucking douchebags. They're criminals. So, I mean, there's advantages to brokers. There's advantages to DRS. As you saw in GameStop when they talked about all this other stuff, if you're in Robinhood, I've told you guys about payment for order flow. You don't own those fucking shares. And there's people that are still in payment for order flow. There's people that love Robinhood to death. You will never leave Robinhood no matter what I tell you. If I showed you the CEO of Robinhood was raping children and selling them into the black market, people still would use their program. They still wouldn't give a fuck because it's all about Who cares? It's so easy to use and looks all pretty on my phone. I like the charts. It's just so much easier to do my fucking option flow. Of course it is. Of course it is. But things in life that are more worth it and that help you take an extra second or two to do. And it takes 1 extra second to fucking direct route your share and know that your share counts. No, it actually affects the MBBO and it affects the price. There's just a little something about that. Now, one thing I will talk about is I haven't talked to Boss Blunts in, a long time. We did that one, stream or whatever for like an hour, or not even, for a little bit that one day. But I haven't talked to him for years. So like I'm looking into his thing, but I had a couple questions for him on his lit exchange. And I mean, the one thing that I will say about it is, okay, I asked him, are you going to do direct routing? How are you going to do it? Because how do you make your money? Because, are you going to send it to a market center? How does your thing route? Because if you send it to a market center, you're no better than Moo. So stop advertising like you're better than Moo. How are you going to do it? And he said that it automatically starts out at direct routing to a lit exchange, unless you tell it otherwise. If you direct route it to a lit exchange, you might get charged a fee. Oh, well, here's the thing. I feel like people will pay a fee more to make sure all their things go off than and actually count in a reel and all of that. It's real, it's there, blah, blah, blah. I feel like everybody would pay a fee. A little small, trading fee to type thing. He says that if you want, and this is the only, this is something I like about that is, well, if you have, all right, well, if it's not going to a market center, it's automatically going to that unless I change it. If I change it, I no longer pay that fee, but I have to change it manually. And it starts out at direct routing when other companies start out at payment for order flow type thing and then ask you to direct route and make you do all those extra steps to direct route. But again, if you're even going to do lit exchange, only do it type thing. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything with lit exchange type thing. I don't work for him. I don't have affiliation. I don't talk to Boss Blunts. I'm just saying I hope a platform like that takes off. I hope there's a platform that only goes to fucking the lit market. And I hope everybody in retail goes to a type of thing like that. Like, we need a platform, and I'm not saying that his platform's the one. It's the answer, and that's exactly what he's doing, and there's nothing that we might find corrupt. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying we need a type of thing. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want people to understand. And to prove my point that direct routing matters. Because people sit there and they say, oh, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Here's how you know when you direct route, it matters. If you go tomorrow, let's say you're going to buy shares. I don't care what platform you're on, okay? Tomorrow, you're going to buy shares, okay? Do me a favor. Direct route your share to the IEX. And if everybody does it, guess what? The IEX will start canceling orders out. They'll do partial fills. They run out and they'll just keep canceling fucking orders. Unlike a payment for order flow platform who, guess what? They'll fill it every fucking time. And that's why I tell people the IEX is the most important thing. The most important way for a person to trade that is a retail trader is to direct route your trade to the IEX platform or the IEX exchange every time. Every time. Your thing will count. It's not payment for order flow. If it can't find the amount of shares it finds, again, it will cancel your order or partially fill it because it doesn't have it. And that's how you know it counts. Boss Blunts has some outlandish ideas about politics. I don't care about somebody's politics, its views, anything like that. I care about the way his platform operates. Like I said, I'm not saying his platform's the one. I don't know. I'd have to see it in action. I'd have to see it. I have to see it in my hand. I have to route. I have to trade. I have to ask questions. Give me 30 minutes with this platform, and I can tell you right away, hey, scam, perfect. It does what he says. He's exaggerating this. I'm gonna, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna exploit every single aspect about it. If it's truly a retail thing, I'll say, hey guys, for the first time ever, I'm gonna endorse a type of thing. I'm not gonna say, hey, go give me a sign up bullshit. I don't care about that. That would be the only way, but I would have to verify 1000% it, no matter what, will not go to him. That's the other thing I'm going to say to him. I want to make sure that you say, hey, if I pay a fucking convenience fee, there is no way it can end up in a market maker's hands or a market center. If one of those exchanges does not have the fucking shares to fill, you will wait or you will cancel the order and we do it again. You don't ever partially fill in a lit exchange and then partially fill payment for order flow. It needs to, if I have my thing over here, 100% needs to go over there. Like I said, there would be tons of questions I would have for him before I would ever say, yep, this is the one to use. Because in the end of the day, you're going to be a broker and you're going to be in that fucking world. And I'm not questioning his character or anything like that, but it's like everyone in the world eventually has a fucking price tag, so I need to make sure type shit. Like I said, I use Fidelity, but I would never ever be like, guys, go to Fidelity. That's the where to go. No, I only use Fidelity. Because they're their own clearinghouse. So Fidelity themselves needs to push it off. Well, here's the thing with Fidelity. Why would you ever, if you clear your own trades, why would you ever clear more trades than you can handle? You shouldn't. They're not like a Robinhood and Apex, where Apex can shut them off because Apex can clear it too much. Fidelity has their own clearinghouse. On top of that, I can direct route my trades through Fidelity. That's it. That's the only reason why I use them. I don't trust Fidelity. I think Fidelity's fucking corrupt as shit. I think Fidelity's no better than, like I said, they're all fucking trash. They're all corrupt. They all turn the buy button. They're all this and that. So, like I said, I'm not against DRS. If anybody ever said I DRS my shares, I'm like, good, cool. I'm never gonna get mad or ever be like, well, that's stupid. Cool. If that's how you want to do it and feel that way, great. But again, like everything in life, know that there are risks, there are warnings, there are always bullshit, there's always gray areas, there's all this. Just know what the gray area is. That's all I ever say. MMTPL, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, all I know is what the filing told me. If I'm wrong, if there's other things going on, shareholders, guess what? I'm one DM away to teach me where I'm wrong at, where I'm at. Because like I said, I've told you guys many times, I'm not paying attention to MMTPL, Torchlight. I never have in my entire life. I've never watched that saga. Nobody from that community has ever reached out to talk to me to where they're like, hey, let's go over and do this. It's always been like hey, would you want to join a space call sometime? And then I wouldn't be able to join it because I would be doing something. I mean, I can barely come on YouTube. But it's like, you guys can DM me just as easy. You guys can DM me as much as you want. You can show me pictures and all that, and I can learn just as easy. I don't have to only go on space calls. But again, from what I'm reading, it violated everything that it's accusing him of. But again, I wasn't involved in the story to tell you what really happened with Torchlight and the dividend. But all right, guys, I'm gonna head out here. I'm gonna go do some stuff with the family. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you all have a good day.